I have a running dialogue in my head that would make my doctor retire on the spot. Every single day I say things to myself that no medical professional would approve of. Things like, "That is fine, I have fallen before and survived." Things like, "I can probably reach that if I lean far enough." Things like, "Well, if this kills me, at least I do not have to do it again." I am not being dramatic. I am being honest. When you are disabled and living in a body that does not cooperate, your brain develops a whole different operating system. A normal person sees a staircase and thinks, "Stairs." I see a staircase and think, "All right, let us negotiate with death real quick." These are the things I say to myself on a daily basis that would absolutely terrify my doctor, and I say them with a smile. Number 1, I better be careful because this might be my last one. I say this to myself every single time I use the stairs. Every time. Not sometimes. Not on bad days. Every time. I stand at the top with my kung fu grip on that railing, and my brain just casually drops that line like it is commenting on the weather. Might be your last trip down these stairs, buddy. And you know what I do? I say, "Yep, it might be." And I go anyway. A normal person would hear that voice and call a therapist. I hear that voice and call it Tuesday. My doctor would probably want to have a long conversation about this. I would tell him I have had this conversation with myself about 4,000 times already, and the stairs are still there, and so am I. We are at a stalemate. Number 2, I can reach that. No, I cannot reach that. But I am going to try anyway. This happens about 10 times a day. Something is just out of my reach from the wheelchair. The remote, a glass of water, my phone. Instead of asking someone to hand it to me, I decide to go for it. I lean, I stretch, I extend my arm like I am trying to shake hands with someone across the room. My wheelchair starts tilting. The rational part of my brain says, "Stop, you are going to flip the chair." The other part says, "We are already committed." You know what happens when you flip a wheelchair reaching for a remote. You end up on the floor without the remote. Now you have 2 problems. You are on the floor, and the remote is still on the table laughing at you. I have never actually flipped the chair, but I have been close enough to see the other side. Number 3, this is fine. Everything is fine. I say this in the downstairs bathroom every single time, gripping the sink counter, shuffling across the floor with no grab bars and no backup plan. My body wobbling like a Jenga tower that someone pulled the wrong block from, and my brain is just going, "This is fine. Everything is fine. This is not fine. Nothing about this is fine." I am a grown man using a sink as a mobility device in a bathroom that was designed for people who can stand without thinking about it. But I say it anyway, because what else am I going to say? This is terrifying, and I might fall. I already know that. Saying it out loud does not help. So I go with, "This is fine," and I shuffle my way through it. My doctor would say you need grab bars in that bathroom. I would say I know. The sink counter and I have an arrangement. Number 4, I have survived worse than this. This is the one I say when I am doing something I probably should not be doing. Cooking on the stove with no balance, reaching across a hot burner, carrying something heavy while walking without my chair. My brain pulls up my medical history like a resume and goes, "Listen, you survived 3 strokes, a rare autoimmune disease, and 4 falls down a staircase. You can handle a frying pan." And technically that is true. I have survived worse than a frying pan, but that does not mean the frying pan cannot get me. Surviving worse does not make you invincible. It makes you experienced at almost dying. There is a difference. My doctor would say, past survival does not reduce current risk. I would say that is a great point, but I am hungry, and this bacon is not going to cook itself. Number 5, I am not sleeping on this couch. My bedroom is upstairs. The couch is downstairs. Some nights I am exhausted, and my body is screaming at me, and the thought of climbing those stairs makes me want to negotiate with the couch. Just sleep here tonight. It is comfortable enough. But then my stubborn brain kicks in and says, "No, you are not a couch person. You have a bed. It is upstairs. Go get it." So I transfer out of my chair. I grab the railing, and I climb those stairs on fumes and willpower. My doctor would say if you were that exhausted, maybe you should rest downstairs. I would say, Doc, you do not understand. The couch is a slippery slope. One night on the couch becomes two. Two becomes a week. Next thing you know, the couch owns you. I will not let furniture dictate my life. I already have a wheelchair for that.
Number 6. All right. How am I going to do this? I say this every time I drop something on the floor. For a normal person, dropping your phone is a 2-second problem. Bend down, pick it up.
For me, it is a strategic operation. Where did it land? Can I reach it from the chair? If I lean down, will I tip over? Should I transfer to the floor? If I get on the floor, can I get back up? Is there furniture nearby to pull myself back into the chair? Every dropped object becomes a 5-step mission. I have left things on the floor for hours because the risk-reward calculation did not work out. My phone has sat on the floor staring at me while I stared back from my chair like we were in a standoff. The phone always wins eventually, but I take my time. Number 7, I can make it. This is the one I say in public when there is a gap between me and the next safe thing to grab. Parking lots are the worst. That stretch of open pavement between the car and the building where there is nothing to hold on to. Just flat ground and hope. If I am in my power chair, it is fine. But if I am walking, there is a moment where I have to let go of the car and commit to the open space. No railing, no wall. Just me and my zero balance versus gravity. I tell myself I can make it, like I am crossing a river on stepping stones. My doctor would ask why I do not use the wheelchair for that. I would say because sometimes you want to feel like you can still do things on your own, even if your body disagrees. Number 8. Did I lock the front door? Every person on earth has had this thought at night. The difference is, most people can just get up and go check. Takes 30 seconds. For me, checking the front door means transferring out of bed, walking to the stairs, gripping the railing, going down all 14 steps, shuffling to the front door, checking the lock, then doing the whole thing in reverse. That is a 20-minute operation minimum, at night, in the dark, with no balance. So when I lay in bed and think, did I lock the front door? My brain immediately does the math. Is the risk of the door being unlocked greater than the risk of me going down those stairs at midnight? Most nights, the stairs win. I just lay there and hope for the best. My doctor would say that is an anxiety issue. I would say no, that is a staircase issue. Number 9. Good enough. I say this about 15 times a day. My hair looks good enough, based on the 30% of my face I can see in the mirror. My shirt is buttoned good enough, considering I did it with one hand that fully cooperates and one hand that shows up when it feels like it. The food I cooked is good enough even though I only used the bottom shelf ingredients. Good enough is not giving up. Good enough is adapting. It is the difference between a perfectionist and a realist. I used to want things to be perfect. Then I had 3 strokes and perfect left the building. Now I work with what I have, and what I have is good enough. My doctor would probably say you should strive for the best possible outcome. I would say, Doc, I am alive and dressed and fed. In my world, that is the best possible outcome. Number 10. At least it will make a good story. This is the one that would really worry my doctor, because I say it when something goes wrong, when I drop something and end up on the floor, when I slip on the stairs and barely catch myself, when the bathroom shuffle goes sideways. Instead of panicking, my first thought is, well, that is going in a video. I have turned every disaster into content. Every fall is a future script. Every close call is a punchline. My doctor would say, you are using humor as a coping mechanism. And I would say, yes, obviously. What gave it away? Was it the YouTube channel literally called Rolling Disaster? Humor is how I get through this. If I could not laugh at the things that happened to me, I would not make it. The laughter is not covering up the pain. The laughter is how I carry it. Those are the things I say to myself that would make my doctor update my file in red ink. But here is the truth. Every single one of those thoughts is what keeps me going. The risk assessment before the stairs. The good enough when I get dressed. The "I can make it" when I cross a parking lot. These are not signs of a problem. These are signs of someone who is still fighting, still showing up, still refusing to let the hard stuff win. If you have your own version of these thoughts, you are not broken. You are surviving. And surviving is not a participation trophy. It is the whole game.
Hit subscribe if you want more of this. I have got a lifetime of material. This is rolling disaster. My doctor would not approve, but I am still here, so I think I am doing all right.